right? So here is the module design pattern, and how module design pattern is handled by the classical programming language TypeScript. So in the day 3, I'm going to have one file, say new one dot ts, new one dot ts. I'm going to say now class Audi is there. I would be having one class which is nothing but what? Audi. Okay. Now let me compile this. And you can say tsc and name of the TypeScript file new one.ts. So it is going to be compiled and it would be creating what? New one.js. See, new one.js is nothing but one module. That's what we did now. So where Audi is equals to the function, right? Where Audi is equals to the function which is having one inner function and returning that function over here. That's what we did. Now I want to inject the two things. So Audi, right? Audi, I would be having one more class over here. So let me delete that JS file, right? Let me delete that JS file. It is maintaining the global scopes. That's why it is giving me the error. Okay, Audi, and then I can say another A6, another class A6. Then A6 is dependent on the Audi. Same like this. Whatever we did in the car.js, I'm going to emulate same thing over here. I would be emulating same thing over here. So A6 is dependent on what? Audi. Right? How you are going to show that dependency, right? So here you can have constructor you can write. It's not like the Java, right? It's not like the Java. Constructors can be written like this also. Constructor, and it is what you can say Audi of type Audi. It is dependent on the type Audi. See this. Easy to understand. Whenever you look at the constructor of the A6, you will find clearly, right? This constructor is dependent on the class Audi or the object Audi. So constructor of A6 or A6 is dependent on the Audi. Clearly specified. Now you might be having one question, what is the inner things? How JS is going to be created? Go to the JS, new one.js, same thing that we did. Right? Here is the function called as Audi, and from here you can pass that Audi. This is dependent on this. So whatever we did, same thing it's doing. Right, but little bit in some another format. That's fine. Their interpretation and our interpretation is a little bit different, but that's fine. But intention is same. Both are doing same thing. Code is generating same. You don't need to worry about the code. Now hence from now, there is no need that you are going to see the JavaScript code. No, forget the JS code if you are working in the TS. And this is much better to understand. These concepts are extremely simple to understand. Constructor, Audi, right? There is one constructor which is dependent on the class Audi. Then you can say this Audi can be null or optional parameter. I can pass Audi or I cannot pass Audi. Optional. It is not mandatory that I should pass. Means both the constructors are fine. So here I can have let, what you can say, Audi of type Audi you write it or you don't write it. And new, what you can say, audi here, and here I'm going to create let a6 is equals to new a6, and here you can pass audio object or you can skip audio object. You can pass or you can skip. See, it is a much better to understand, and this question mark says that it is optional, can be undefined. It is optional. So here you created the class, here you created another class. Right, here you created one class and here you created another class. So pretty clean and easy to understand. So these are understandable syntax. Right, now see, I have one question. So you'll say that this is in the same TS file, but I want to use this Audi class in another TypeScript file. So here I can create over here new file and other.ts, and this other.ts I want to have this, what you can say, Audi. This Audi only. I want to create object of Audi over there. So in that case, you are going to use export class Audi. Export from this file and import, right? Or I can say let of type Audi, can you see, is equals to new Audi. So it has imported. So from here you have exported, from here you have exported. Remember that if you want to export or if you want to use one class, one variable, one constant, one array from one file to the other file, you need to attach one keyword, which is nothing but what? Export. If you will not export, you cannot import. Pretty clean. So here you are saying import. Here you can have multiple. If two have been exported, see, export A6 as well. Here you can have comma A6. Importance is to the file. Here you can see file. So new one.ts is one TypeScript file, and into that TypeScript file you can have multiple classes. One TypeScript file, and into that TypeScript file you can have multiple classes, multiple constants, multiple arrays that can be exported and imported into another thing. Likewise, export, right? You don't need to worry about what JS it has generated. Semicolons are, remember, optional. If you are habitual, if you forget the habit, so today's all trending programming languages, Kotlin, ES6, TypeScript, right, doesn't need semicolon. You can forget that, and do not restrict yourself to one programming language. Be prepared to change, because upcoming era is technology shift. There would be huge technology shift in coming 3 to 4 years. Right? So do not prepare yourself to any one programming language. Be ready to work with some new things, awesome things. That's another question. But remember that export, this is how you will work. So what we have studied, how export work, what are the optional parameters, right? And what is dependency injection that we have seen in the form of modules. Is that okay? So I want you to practice all these things.